Thank you so much. Good afternoon, or is it still morning, to everybody, to our listeners, to our viewers at home, to the members of the media. I'm here with the faith-based organizations, with reverends here and the bishop and Bishop Malusi as well, and many other pastors that have joined us. Pastor Jan is here as well. Today it's a very different day to what we had yesterday. We started off with visiting those that have been injured in hospital, went to Helen Joseph Hospital to understand what the situation is there. We have about 6 of our residents that are still in hospital, 1 that is still critically injured. There's 1 that refused treatment because he was a foreign national. He actually ran away. We are concerned about that. We are still calling upon the foreign nationals that need attention, whether it's shelter or medical care, to come forth. We are not looking at documentation, we are looking at the humanity crisis. The crisis that we're facing, it's not only infrastructure. As you see us with the faith-based organization, the pastors, the bishop, the reverends from different faiths, we are here because it's a humanity thing. There are people that are broken, that have been traumatized, people that are confused, that are afraid, that really need spiritual care. The faith-based organization are not only coming here to provide prayers and counseling and spiritual care and standing with us, but they also want to get involved in how can we assist the city. How can they be part of assisting in this crisis, whether it's with supplies or necessities or whatever it is that people need at this time. We've been appealing for corporates that have come on board, that have brought food, that have brought toiletries, that have brought clothes, that have brought sanitary pads and many other supplies, household things that we need for our residents to at least have some normal kind of existence in the shelters and also where they're going to be placed in housing. I'm also here with the MEC of Health, MEC Makafula, and we're going to conduct a prayer with all the faith-based organizations, but they also want a proper briefing on what has happened on site. How many other buildings are we going to be having in the city of Joburg going the same route? They ask difficult questions to say, about 4 weeks ago, we had a road that was burst open at Bree Street. We went there with them to offer prayers and support, and they were assisting us with our residents. Here we are again today, a building has burned down. And the question is, what is next? What is the register of all the buildings that Johannesburg has? What are the conditions of those buildings? And those that are high risk, what are we doing about it now? Because they have really poked a lot of holes in some of our processes to say it's not prayer that is going to only save Joburg. It is the wisdom of those that are placed in authority to govern. It is the diligence of those that are placed in the government to really do their part. But they also understand that it's also the responsibility of citizens to be accountable, to be disciplined, to follow the law. It's also over and above the city, the broader government, national, in home affairs, how we deal with immigration, justice system, what happens when these people are caught. And it spreads across all of us to take accountability and really pull together. And that's why they're here to say we are part of the city of Johannesburg. We want to be part of the solution, and we want to also assist spiritually where we need to, but most importantly, they need answers. Post the prayers, we're going to be also be getting a brief from the EMS and other officials of the city, because they want to hear from them on what is it that they can do as faith-based organization to assist the city, and also on where is the city really in terms of the hijacked buildings, in terms of the state of the city affairs, the inner city, and that's really the purpose of what we're here to do today.
Well, Speaker, I just wanted to ask a question. Puleli Treaty Jones, ENCA. There's been a concern around the people who have asked to be taken to the countries of their origins. Are you aware about this? Will they be assisted?
Look, we are aware about that. A lot of people have come out to say instead of being penalized for being here illegally and now they are left desolate and destitute, they would like to be taken back. But those are processes that are beyond the city, and the relevant departments will be dealing with that and assisting us on how we process those kinds of deportation and how we transport them back, etc. You can understand the state in which they are in now. Some of them as late as 9 o'clock at night night when we left the site. They were refusing to go to the shelter. And we appealed to them to say, you cannot sleep outside, we cannot feed you from outside, we need to clothe you, we need to make sure that, you are properly cared for. But there's always that fear of what is going to happen to me once they realize I'm Malawian or Tanzanian. The Tanzanian national person who ran away from hospital as well. It's this kind of things that I think we need to send a clear message to say we are not at a punitive stage. We are here to assist. The measures of law and all of that will kick in, obviously, at the later stage. But for now, it's important that we stabilize the people. We ensure that they are healthy, they are taken care of. We are human. We are Africans. We cannot throw them away in this time. And that is the message we want to get across.
If this is beyond the city, then what is the city thoroughly assisting with? When will the mayoral committee begin their work of also intensifying that some of these derelict and decaying buildings are actually dealt with as well?
Look, I think MEC here can answer on the mayoral committee when they are sitting. I know that there are agent maycoms that have been called to deal with it. And once they have sat and looked at the big broader picture, they will come and give their responses. MEC, I don't know if you have anything to add around the maycom sitting.
Thank you very much, Speaker. As you have alluded before, so we have been allocated with different MMCs to go and visit the victims, the survivors. I have myself been to Chris Hani Baragwana this morning, where we had 9 patients which were admitted at Baragwana. Two of them have been discharged. So we are looking into that. We are having council next week. Surely every time before this council, there will be mayoral committee that will be conducted. So mayoral committee will be conducted and we will be able to update as soon as after we've done that. Thank you.
Yeah. And in addition to that, you would know that yesterday we actually adjourned council. We did not sit so that we can deal with the crisis at hand, and we'll convene council again next week Tuesday. And I'm sure most of the decisions that the agent maycom is going to take, they will be then brought to the Tuesday council. That's where we'll process all of these reports and get a clearer understanding of what the city is going to do about many issues, the desolate, the illegal foreigners, the hijacked buildings, and all these things that we need to do. Look, it also looks at us from the legislature as well, the oversight that must be intensified to come and see what is happening in the city, in the buildings, so that we don't react to crisis, but we proactively manage these things. And we appeal once again to NGOs and all that are interested parties in the city's building, allow us to do our job and let us save lives and prevent these situations instead of fighting us in the courts of law, and then we end up with such massive tragedies. I don't know if Bishop, you would like to add to that as well?
Yes, Jesus said the church is like a body. If one part of the body is injured, the whole body is injured. We are here because of that, because most of the people here belong to the church. And when they are in need, we also need to be there with them to help them. So our intention coming here is to firstly listen to what has happened, what are the needs, and where can we as a church fit in, so that we also be part of the lives of the people who have been injured.
Maybe the Archbishop might like to say something.
Yes.
Thank you, beloved. We stand here as a body of Christ. We are 2 organizations, SACC, and I represent SOSIC, South African Council of Independent Churches, as a cardinal for the church, for the body. This is a time where we are here to heal and to comfort the family that have lost their beloved. It's our commission for the humanitarian, to pray for the nation and to restore justice. We are supporting the Speaker and the Council as we stand here. We will be going back to SSCC building to go and organize ourselves and pray for the nation. And also we are appealing to the media, please don't restore wrong information outside there. Please support the family, please support the church, please support the Council City of Johannesburg. All I can say, They are those who are rejoicing in heaven. May their soul rest in peace.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I just want to add that, first of all, this week the South African Council of Churches is hosting councils of churches from the SADC region. And they are, as we speak, in session. And it is their desire to come and have their own view of what is happening, because some of the people that are here are citizens of their countries. But for this to happen at a time when we've got the SADC councils of churches in session, in a way, one said it's unfortunate, but actually many said it's actually a fortunate thing, because it enables them to have a first-hand experience of what is happening to their citizens in this country. And the last thing that I want to say is that the Speaker has already expressed the questions that the churches are putting. And we want a deeper understanding of the total reality of the living conditions of people in the city of Johannesburg, because these are people in our congregations, and we want to make sure that we can partner with the city in the cleaning up. Only last week, the police in Gauteng invited the churches to work with them in what they call reclaiming the city from crime. And we believe that had we done that much earlier, the criminal aspects of what led to where we are today might have been averted. And that is the reason why we think it has to be shoulder to shoulder to make sure that we clean Johannesburg and make sure it's a place where people can live peaceably.
Maybe what I can just also add is just to reiterate what the Speaker has said, that at this time there is no punitive. This time we do not have foreigners, we do not have Gentiles, we do not have women and men. We have all people who are made in the image of God. And this time it is that image that needs restored. It is that image that needs to be redeemed. It is that image that needs for all of us to gather around and to help and to put our heads together on how we can enhance the image of and the dignity of the people. The justice will happen, and when justice has to happen. But for now, the main justice is that people will find their livelihood. They will be able to be restored. They will be able to be assured that they are human beings. And whatever happens will happen because God has allowed it. We need to understand that at this time, as we are sitting together, as we are standing together, the Bible tells us that where we are two or three gather, Christ comes and becomes one of us. And we are here not on our own accord, not on our own understanding, but at the understanding that God is calling us as Joburg City to see what can be done to restore the dignity of the continent of Africa, because it is a melting pot of the continents, of all the people that are in this continent. The mothers and the children who are really not knowing where they are going to be going from now on, those who are losing the breadwinners. We want to assure that God hears your prayer. God has said to Moses, I have seen and I've heard and I've come down. We are praying to that God who knows all our needs, even those that we cannot talk about. The prayer, Speaker, is that Lord God will enable you and the whole council and the whole leadership to be able to stand in the gap of those who need assistance right now.
All right, thank you very much. Of course, is the faith-based organization Masego joining us this afternoon. But before I just let them go, I just also want to speak to Pastor Jan Pretorius as well, who I believe they've played a role in terms of the work of counseling the victims as well, and those who've lost their loved ones. Pastor Jan, if you can tell us how has that process been so far, the counseling process as well, getting to the family, reaching out to them?
Yeah, thank you, Pule. It's been a tremendous difficult 2 days. Since early in the morning being here yesterday, assisting the EMS, assisting the firefighters, just assisting those that are around here. We were working very, very closely with the MEC of Health and with the city officials, going to the hospitals and ministering to those victims, assisting them with food parcels, counseling the families. You know that 74 families, people have lost their lives, and those families have been tragically affected. If you look in the pain into their eyes, Pule, it's incredible. to see the pain in their eyes. You can't, the cry of their voices cannot show the pain that is in their hearts. So through the church, through Matlaseri Foundation, which the foundation which we use, we have been involved in affecting the communities and also the loved ones. Then, of course, you know, with the integrated disaster relief plan that has been going on with those that have been displaced, 400 people being put around in shelters. We truly have been assisting with mattresses, with food, and being involved there. The need is great, and it's time for the church to stand up and be counted in this need to help the families affected.
Thank you very much. Of course, Jan Pretorius there from the Matlaseri Foundation speaking to us this afternoon. As you can see, Masego, some of the elderly women bishops and those playing a role within the religious faith-based organizations and communities now going inside here just to reach out to those families and of course victims who've been affected as a result of this tragic incident here. The speaker, of course, Colleen Makubele, also leading the delegation of the faith-based organization here in Gauteng, in Johannesburg.